and you roll on.
Can you put it on there?
Yeah, so it should be up. And yeah, if you just want to start doing your spiel, adjust your camera. Go. All right, money.
All right. Everybody, welcome to another edition of Mobility Flow Live here on this beautiful Wednesday. Thank you so much for tuning in and joining. If you're obviously not here live, I'm sure some of you will be watching later on. So what we're going to be doing for this class today is we're going to be focusing on movements to build stable and strong knees. One thing that people don't understand about the knee joint itself is that the stability, strength, and health of the hip and the ankle are the most important things that you want to build first in order to build strong and stable knees. So oftentimes if there is a dysfunction in either the hip or the ankle, or let's say there's a weakness there, or there's ligaments that are tight or impinged in the hip, or there is weak arches or lack of stability in the ankle joint, this can over time affect the health of the knee. So you don't just want to isolate just movements just to strengthen the muscles around the kneecap. We want to move directly up into the hip and down into the ankle in order to get that knee stable and strong, as the knee supports us in multiple movements in terms of a weight training standpoint, squats, lunges, everything. So today's focus is going to be about, let's look at the hip, let's look at the ankle, and let's get to the root of why we might be developing some knee issues first. And then we can start to troubleshoot if the knee is lacking stability or proper functioning. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So you're just going to need 2 blocks. There will be a portion of class that you will be standing up on a block, so my head's obviously going to be cut off. That doesn't matter for you. As long as you can see me from the lower body and below, you guys should be completely cool. Other than that, I think we're all ready to go. So you're going to start down on your back. Don't need any props with you when you start down on your back, so just go ahead and get down there. All right, let me just make sure I can be seen. Beautiful. Can you just lower it just a little bit, just so they can see me on? I got my cameraman here with me. Okay, beautiful. All right, guys. So first thing we want to talk about is the hamstrings. So tight hamstrings, weak hamstrings, or tight nerves in through the base of the bum to the back of the knee can impact how the knee is feeling. So we're going to start with a technique to help alleviate some pressure on the nerves of the hamstring. So it's really, really simple. You're going to start on your back, knees bent, feet flat on the floor. Arms can be wherever you like them. And you're going to take your right leg and you're just going to plop it out straight on the floor. So I'm just going to prop that right leg out perfectly straight, ankle flexed, toes pointing straight up. Left foot's going to stay exactly where it is. Okay. Now I want you to pay attention to what happened to the right side of your lower back when you slid your right leg out straight. You might notice that it might feel like there's a little bit of a pop-up, like the right side of the lower back pops up a little bit. Okay, this is going to tell you a little bit about the musculature of your hips, that they might be a tad tight. So just try that again. Put the right foot back on the floor, and then watch what happens to your lower back. For me, it goes flat to the ground. Then as soon as I take my right leg out straight, I feel a little bit of a lift on that right side. Okay, but what I know about me is that my right hip is a little bit tighter than my left. So that's probably why that happened. So we're going to try to alleviate this, but also relieve the hamstring. So all I'm going to do is, keeping the ankle flexed, I'm going to take my right leg up as high as I can to the ceiling, as if I was trying to kick the ceiling. Now I know you cannot see my foot, but my ankle is flexed and my toes are pointing down to my kneecap. Now, one thing I want to avoid is bringing the right leg so far in that my right butt cheek starts to roll up off the floor. This is not what we're going for. I want to adjust the leg until I feel like the right side and the left side of the lower back are relatively even. If your knee bends because your hamstring is really cranky and tight, that's absolutely fine. It doesn't matter. Now, all you're going to do is as you inhale, you're going to point your toes to the ceiling, kind of like you're making a ballerina foot. And then as you exhale, you're going to flex the foot again. And then I'm just going to lower the leg back to the floor. Very, very easy, but got to make sure that you're inhaling as you point, exhale as you flex. So we're going to try a couple of these. I'm going to take that leg up again. I'm going to try to feel like the right side and the left side of the lower back are even. I'm going to inhale, point, exhale, flex, and lower. And I'm going to try to stay nasal with my breath as much as I can. Again, I'm going to lift, and I'm going to feel how, oh, there goes my right side flat to the floor. I'm going to inhale, point, exhale, flex, and then lower. Now, these last two here, I want you to envision that your leg is actually getting longer with every rep. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to reach that right leg down away from me, almost as if someone is pulling my thigh bone out of that hip socket. And I'm going to reach, and all of a sudden I feel my right side get a little bit flatter to the floor. Then as I bring that right leg to the ceiling, now I want to think about reaching up through that inner heel as if I'm trying to push the right side of the lower back into the floor. Then I'm going to inhale, point, exhale, flex. And then as I lower, I want to think that I'm reaching up to the ceiling as I lower the leg. So I'm getting the leg longer with every repetition. Okay, one more there. I'm going to reach. I'm going to lift. I'm going to reach up as I push that low back in towards the floor. I'm going to inhale, point, exhale, flex, and then I'm going to lower. Okay, now I just want you to lift the leg up, and I want you to hold it there. Now, I want you to just relax your foot. So it doesn't have to be pointed, it doesn't have to be flexed, it's just kind of relaxed, okay? And that's going to get into the nerve of the hamstring. Now I'm going to decide what I want to do with my left leg. So I'm going to flex the foot, and I'm going to proceed to slide my left foot out a little bit straighter. Okay, for me, I have relatively open hamstrings, so I might be able to slide that left leg all the way out straight with no real problems. But if as you do that, your left leg pitches up away from the floor or your right leg is pulled forward, you're going to adjust the left leg until you find a place where your right leg doesn't change. Okay, so for me, I might be here. If that feels like a little bit too much today, I'm just going to put it here. And then I'm going to take one breath. Inhale. Exhale again. Remember, your foot is relaxed. Okay, one more. Inhale. And exhale. Okay, put the left foot back on the floor, put the right foot back on the floor. Simple enough. Now for me, I felt a big release in my hamstring, and I felt my right side go a little bit closer to the floor just from doing 5 reps. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and try the left side. Left side goes out. Really simple, ankle flexed. Okay, and then I'm just going to lift the leg up to the ceiling. Okay, yeah, and then I'm going to see what happened. Okay, I'm going to put the foot back on the floor again, and try that again. Slide the leg out. Left side of the lower back didn't really change that much. My hips aren't really tight on the left side. And I'm going to bring that leg up. Again, I don't want the left butt cheek to roll up away from the floor. Really important. Okay, ankles flexed to start. And I'm going to inhale through the nose, point the toes like a ballerina. Exhale, flex. Lower the leg to the floor. Okay, again, I'm going to lift up. Inhale, point. Exhale, flex. Lower the leg to the floor. Again. Lift up, inhale, point, exhale, flex, lower it again. Don't worry if your knee is a little bit back, a little bit bent. Now on these last 2 reps, I want to create that reaching effort. So I'm going to reach. I'm going to feel like someone's pulling on my leg, making it longer, almost as if it feels like my left hip bone is dropping. And then I'm going to reach up to the ceiling. Then as I reach the heel to the ceiling, I'm going to feel like my lower back comes closer to the floor. I'm going to inhale, point, exhale, flex, and then reach up and keep reaching forward as I lower the leg as if I'm getting it longer. Almost as if I'm getting taller, I wish. One more there. I'm going to reach and then lift. Okay, and then I'm going to reach the heel to the ceiling. Feel that low back come closer to the floor. Inhale, point. Exhale, flex. Reach up and lower. And this last one here, we're going to go into that little nerve release. So now I'm just going to lift up, and then once I get there, I'm just going to relax my foot. And as soon as I relax my foot, I feel a lot in that hamstring. And then I'm going to decide what I want to do with the right leg. I'm going to flex the foot. Maybe I'll start really nearby. My left hamstring is a little bit tighter than my right. So maybe if I take that leg all the way out straight, I might feel like this is too much of a pull. so I can feel free to stay here. We just don't want the leg to come forward, or we don't want the low back to yank up off the floor. So you guys decide what feels comfortable for you. And then I'm just going to take a nasal breath. Inhale. Exhale. Remember, foot is relaxed. Okay, and then I'm just going to put everything back on the Z floor. All right. Okay, so what we're going to do next is a lot harder than it seems. I'm just going to slide my shirt up a little bit so you guys can see what is actually happening in my lower back. We're going to do something called the glute bridge walkout. Okay, so first thing I want to do in order to fire up my glutes, I don't want to have a big lower back arch. For me, I naturally do. Your lower back arch might be really small. So all I want to do is take my bum and scoop it underneath me until I feel like my lower back is relatively closer to the floor. Not scooping it so much that your bum's like popping up off the ground and your abs go really hard. Just a little bit of a scoop underneath. And then once I have that little scoop underneath, I'm going to press down through my big toes and my heels. I'm going to grab my outer hips and I'm going to lift my bum just a little bit up off the floor. And I'm going to lift it as high as I can without letting, this happen, where I've got this big arch through my low back and my rib cage is flaring out. I want the ribs to drop, the butt to scoop underneath me, and that may influence how high I lift, but that doesn't really matter. Now, the reason I'm having you hold the sides of your hips or the low sides of your waist is this is for stability. We want to prevent the hips from teetering from side to side. Now, already in this position, my go-to place is I'm going to feel my hamstrings first. Okay? It's really hard for me to feel my glutes. You may be feeling your bum. Now, without teetering the hips from side to side, I'm going to press really hard down into my left foot, and I'm going to take my right foot and step it forward just a little step. Okay? Just a little step. And I want to keep scooping the butt underneath me. Now, as I press into the right foot, I'm going to take that left foot forward to be level with the right. Okay? I'm going to still keep that butt up. Now, I'm going to press into the left. I'm going to step the right forward. And I'm going to press into the right and step the left forward. Okay? Your hips may be moving a little bit, but we want to try to keep them as level as I can. Now, I'm going to reverse the direction that I did. I'm going to press into the right, step the left forward. Press into the left, step the right forward. Press into the right, step the left forward. Press into the left, step the right forward. I'm back where I was. If you're starting to feel your low back, you're probably lifting too high. You're probably lifting deep from that low back arch. So let's try this again. Press into the left, step the right. Press into the right, step the left. Press into the left, step the right. Press into the right, step the left. Now let's reverse. Press into the left, right, right, left, left, right, right, left. Let's do one more here and I'll give you guys a break. Again, if you're starting to feel your low back, you're probably lifting too high. One more. Step into the left, right forward. Into the right, left forward. Into the left, right forward. Into the right, left forward. Into the right, left back. Into the left, right back. Into the right, left back. Into the left, right back. And scoop that underneath you. And then lower everything to the floor. Whew. A lot harder than it seems. I might feel a lot of cramping in the hamstring. That's good. We want to put the blood in the legs before we actually start to work with the knee, especially if you're someone who does struggle with knee pain. You want to get the blood in those legs first before we start to isolate those knees. Let's do one more set here, and then we will move up out of this. Thank God. This is my least favorite thing to do. All right. Let's try this again. And I apologize if I'm messing up the lefts and rights. It's hard to keep track when your butt's on fire. But you guys get the gist. You're just stepping forward and forward and forward and forward and back and back and back and back. All right. Scoop the butt underneath you. You're going to decide. So I'm going to leave that up to you. Again, for me, I have to do it a lot more just because I have a naturally big lower back arch. So I'm going to scoop it more. I'm going to press the feet. I'm going to drive up. And then once I get up there, I'm going to do another little scoop just because my low back tends to be a little bit more arched than the average Joe. So I'm going to scoop underneath, drop my rib cage down, grab the low sides of my hips, and let's do another set. Press into the left foot really hard, right foot forward. The harder you press into that foot, the more stable you're going to feel in your hips, the less teetering you're going to do. Press into the right, left forward. Press into the left, right forward. Press into the right, left forward. Okay, now let's go back. Press into the right, left back. Press into the left, right back. Press into the right, left back. Press into the left, right back. If you have to adjust before the next rep, scoop, squeeze in. Press into the left, right forward. Press into the right, left forward. Press into the left, right forward. Press into the right, left forward. Let's go back. Press into the right, left back. Into the left, right back. Into the right, left back. Into the left, right back. Let's do one more time again. Your priority is to minimize how much your hips are teetering. Okay? If they're teetering, you're probably not going to feel your muscles as much. Let's do one more round. Press into the left, right forward. Into the right, left forward. Or left forward, left forward. You guys get the gist. Press into the left, right forward. Press into the right, left forward. All right, let's go back. Press into the left, right back. Press into the right, left back. Press into the left, right back. Press into the right, left back. Good. And then lower those outer hips down. And then go ahead and shake your legs out. Beautiful. All right. Go ahead and come on up. Okay, so a little bit of an ankle mobility piece here. Okay. Again, if your ankles are not bending, especially in a squat lunge position, or even when walking, your knees will probably take a little bit more of an impact. So the little piece that we're going to come to here, and I'm going to give some of you guys some options because some of you may not have happy ankles, and that's fine. I'm just going to change my camera. Sorry for one sec. Okay. Nope, that's too much. My camera guy left me. All right. Okay. So what you guys are going to do is you're going to step your right foot forward. This is really important. You're going to curl that left big toe under, and you're going to sit your back hip back to your heel. This is not meant to be comfortable, folks, so don't worry if you're like, is there something wrong with me? This hurts so much. This is normal. The reason why I'm having you get that big toe is your big toe has to be able to move, or again, that knee is going to take more of a brunt. If you're finding it really hard to sit like this, you're actually going to sit a little bit further forward. If you have to uncurl the toes because you've got some arthritis there or anything, that's absolutely fine. Don't force a position that is going to compromise your pain, okay? So whether you're here or you're here, what I'm going to try to do is create a bend in this ankle. So I'm going to lean the weight of my torso forward into my leg. So as you can see, my knee is kind of tracking forward of the ankle, and I'm getting a nice bend there. My heel remains on the floor, so I'm not popping it up off the ground. I'm pushing forward until I feel a nice bend in the ankle. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to step forward into a lunge, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to push my body weight forward until my knee comes over my ankle, and I'm keeping that heel on the floor. Now, all I'm going to do is pop back exactly where I was. Okay, I'm going to shoot forward, press the knee over the ankle, step forward, lunge, knee on top of ankle to start, and then I'm going to shift that body weight forward. Again, I'm going to step back. Okay, and again, even if you're here, you're still pushing that weight forward. So you want that knee to go over the ankle. Keep the heel on the floor. Step forward, lunge, shift. Let's do two more like that. Step back, shift forward, lunge, shift forward. Good, one more. Step back, shift forward. Last one, lunge, shift forward. Awesome. And then come on back. Beautiful. All right, we're going to go ahead and switch sides. Again, we have unilateral differences in our bodies. So don't worry if you have to make both sides look different, especially if you've had an ankle or knee injury on one side. Don't worry, you have to change it around. But again, I want you to really focus on the big toe of that right foot. And whether I'm here or I'm in a wider version of that lunge, I want to focus on really letting my knee come forward of that ankle. So I'm going to push my weight forward. Keep that heel on the floor. Then I'm going to go to my lunge. I'm going to step and I'm going to shift. Heel stays on the floor, knee goes over ankle. I'm going to step back and I'm going to shift forward. Good. I'm going to lunge, shift forward. Again, step back, shift forward, lunge, shift forward. 2 more. Step back, shift forward. Really utilize that big toe on that right foot. Step forward, shift forward. 1 more. Lunge, shift forward. Good. Lunge, shift forward. Step on back. Beautiful. Great job. Let's do 1 more for fun. Shift forward. Good. Lunge, shift forward. Awesome. All right, go ahead and step back. Okay, so now we're going to go into a little bit of stability and strength for those knees. So you're going to go ahead and grab one of your blocks for this. We're going to do 2 sets of this little section here because this is such an important section. We're going to be working on quad strength and hamstring strength. So you're going to come to a lunge position with the block underneath your left knee. So it's going to look like so. I'm going to step my right foot forward, and I'm going to put the block underneath my left knee. So I've got a little bit of cushioning there. Now we're going to be working with the quad in the front leg, the hamstring in the back leg. Now again, I'm going to utilize that big toe mobility. Another thing to healthy knees, big toe mobility. So first thing is lunge. I want the lunge to be quite short. So knee roughly on top of ankle, knee roughly underneath hip. Okay. Now, one thing, in order for me to get a little bit deeper into the glutes, I have to be out of this kind of sloppy low back arch position. And this is a big one for me. So what I want to think about doing is scooping my bum a little bit underneath me, just like we did when we were on our backs, when we were lifting up into the glute bridges. Now, I'm going to bring my hands to my waist for myself. You can choose to have your hands out in front of you clasped, whatever makes you feel more supported. And all I'm going to do is add 2, 1, and with control, I'm going to lower. Now I'm going to take my torso and lean it forward. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my back heel and I'm going to pull it up to my bum. Now I want to think that I'm contracting and shortening that back hamstring. I'm pushing strongly down into this right foot and I'm pulling that heel into the bum as if I'm trying to shorten the hamstring. Now for a slow count of 5, I'm going to slowly lower the toes back to the floor for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'm going to lean my torso back. Now, I'm going to face front for a sec because I want to show you guys the priority, the main priority of this lunge. Okay? So we're going to do this 4 more times. Now, I want you to pay attention to my front knee. When we come up into that lunge, we're not letting that knee buckle in. This is really important, okay? This is showing us that there's weakness in this outer hip, which can lead to knee pain. So I want to really utilize the musculature in the outer hip and try to keep my kneecap relatively straight ahead or on a little bit of an angle for someone like myself. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and scoop the butt underneath me again. I'm going to bring my hands to my waist. I'm going to push into that front foot, and I'm going to lift my back knee up. Now notice how my knee is not buckling. It's staying straight ahead for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, keeping that knee where it is, I'm going to lower down with control. And then as I lean forward, I'm going to pull that heel, that back heel into the bum, and let my hamstring contract. Let it get tense. Now for a count of 5, I'm going to lower the toes for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. I'm going to go back to face sideways. So you're going to take your torso, lean it back up. We're going to do it again. Scoop the butt underneath you. Push off that front foot. Lift the back knee for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower with control. Lean the torso forward. Pull that back leg in. Lower for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Kneecap stays straight ahead. We're going to go a little faster now. Scoop the butt underneath you. Lift that back knee up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. With control, lower. Hopefully your leg's starting to burn. Lean forward. Pull that heel in. Contract the hamstring. Lower for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lean on back. One more here. Scoop the butt underneath you. Lift and hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower, lean forward, pull that heel in, and then lower for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lean the torso back. Great job. Now, when you did this, you might have felt a lot of action in that front leg, quad, hamstring. Okay, now that you know what you're doing, let's see if we can focus a little bit more on the muscles that we're using. When you're coming up into the lunge, I want you to really think about the muscles on the inside of the quad, okay, as well as the meat of the hamstring, as well as that outer butt cheek to allow you to keep your knees stable and straight ahead. So let's go ahead and try the other side, okay? I always say it's not necessarily the movement, it's how you're doing it. And fancy movements don't really mean much if we don't have a good foundation with the sort of basic ones. So I'm going to utilize that back big toe. I'm going to keep that front big toe heavy. I'm going to scoop the butt underneath me. I like my hands down by my sides, but you guys go ahead and decide. Push off that front foot, lift that back knee up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower, lean forward, pull the heel in, contract that hamstring, lower for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lean back, scoop the butt, lift, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower, lean forward, pull it in. The entire time, this front leg is super stable. It's not even changing. Lower, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lean back, scoop the butt, lift. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower, lean forward, pull it in. Lower, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lean back, scoop the butt. 2 more. Lift, control, front leg. 3, 2, 1. With control. Lower down, lean forward, pull it in. Lower, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lean back. I believe it's 1 more. Lift. Good for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower, lean forward, pull it in, and lower. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Great job. Beautiful. Go ahead and relax. Now, like I said, we're doing 2 sets. Now, if you're done and you need a break, you don't want to join in for the second set, that's your call. Feel free to do so. Otherwise, we're going to do this again. So now that you guys know what you're doing, let's really, really focus on finding those muscles. Inside quad, outside butt cheek, entire meat of that hamstring. We want that front leg to stay nice and stable. So again, we're building that stability in the hip, finding some musculature in the leg to keep that knee straight ahead. All right, hopefully you're sweating. I'm sweating, but I'm always sweating. All right, so we're gonna try the other side. So we're gonna go back to the right side. So I'm gonna put that block underneath that left knee. I'm gonna prop myself back on up into that lunge. Like I said, if you need a break or you wanna do less repetitions, that's absolutely fine, okay? Front knee stable. Scoop the butt underneath you. Here we go. Lunge, lift up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower, lean forward, pull that heel in. You can even take a moment to look down at your front knee. Is it stable? Are you grabbing the floor with that right big toe? Lower, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lean back, scoop the butt, lift. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower, lean forward, pull it in. Lower, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lean back, scoop the butt, lift. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower, lean forward, pull it in. Lower, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lean back, 2 more, scoop the butt, lift. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower, lean forward, pull it in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lean back, scoop the butt, lift. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. lower, lean forward, pull it in, and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome, good. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and switch to the other side. So again, not only are we creating stability in the hip, but that front foot that's on the floor, that ankle may feel like it's wobbling all over the place, but that's good. That's building that deep, deep stability of those muscles of the lower portion of the leg, below the knee, to help that knee strong. Okay, you're getting the best out of many worlds with this exercise. Also, it's really hard, so feels like you're doing good work while you're making your knees nice and strong. All right, T-Roo, last side, and I promise we will not do this again. So I'm gonna scoop it underneath me. Here I go. Lift. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower. Lean forward. Pull it in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Try to hold the contraction on the hamstring the entire time. Lean back. Scoop the back. Lift. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower. Don't just slam the knee. Lean forward, pull it in, and lower. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lean back, scoop the butt, lift. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And lower. Lean forward, pull it in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower. 2 more, guys. Lean back, scoop the butt, lift. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower, lean forward, pull it in, and then lower. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Lean back. 1 more. Scoop the butt. Lift. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower, lean forward, pull it in, and lower. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome. All right, let's go ahead and come up off of that. So we're going to move into hands and knees. Now, with this hands and knees position, we're going to focus on big toe mobility, quad strength. So you're going to go ahead and pop forward into hands and knees. So hand placement, remember, we don't want to be too close. We want to think elbows under shoulders. Turn those hands out a little bit so we can work from those upper arm bones to turn those inner biceps forward. So find that strong hand placement. Okay, now you're going to go ahead and curl your toes under and put your knees directly underneath your hips. Now in this strong hands and knees position, I want to push the shoulder blades to the ceiling, keep my neck long. Now all we're going to do is hold the hovering hands and knees position. Now this is super important to get this knee strong. We don't want to have the ankles sickling. And what I mean by that is your ankles are just kind of like moving all around. We want to be nice and stable from the ankle to the knee to the hip. So I want to have nice, strong, big toe contact. Now, as I push the shoulder blades to the ceiling, all I'm going to do is curl my toes and hover my knees. And I'm going to push in those big toes and try to keep my thigh bones nice and parallel. And then as I'm here, I'm going to push the shoulder blades to the ceiling and hold. We're just going to stay here. And I want you to really, really think about those big toes grabbing the floor and the knees nice and stable. And then go ahead and lower straight down. We're going to do that again. Push the shoulder blades to the ceiling, curl the toes under, hover the knees. Think about a nice straight line from the ankle to the knee to the hip. Hold, and then lower. 1 more here. Push the shoulder blades to the ceiling, curl the toes under, lift, hold. Good, and then carefully lower down. Go ahead and grab a block. This is a super effective exercise to build knee stability. You're going to take a block, you're going to squeeze it the long, sort of vertical, skinny way in between those inner thighs. And now we're going to add a little bit more stability to it. So as I curl those toes under, I find my strong hand placement. Okay, I'm going to push those shoulder blades to the ceiling. And then as I squeeze the block, I'm going to curl the toes. I'm going to hover my knees again. And I'm going to squeeze my inner thigh towards the block, and I'm going to pick my right toes up. Now there's a lot of weight happening on my left knee. That's making it stronger. Drop the right toes. Squeeze the block, lift the left toes. Good. Drop down, squeeze the block, lift the right toes. Drop down, squeeze the block, lift the left toes. Drop down, squeeze the block with the right. Drop down, squeeze the block with the left. Drop down, drop the knees. We'll do that one more time. Now again, as you're doing this, when you lift one set of toes, there's a lot more weight that is bearing on that opposite leg. So I want you to really focus on that burn, especially on the inside quad of the toes that are remaining on the floor. Give that block a good squeeze for outer hip stability. All right, so let's try this one more time. Block between the inner thighs. And just watch that as you lift the toes, you're not hiking your butt up higher. Just watch for that as well. All righty, here we go again. Toes curled under. Shoulder blades push into the ceiling. Go ahead and curl and lift. Squeeze the block with the right toes. Drop down, squeeze the block with the left toes. Drop down, squeeze the block with the right toes. Drop down, squeeze the block with the left toes. Drop down, squeeze the block with the right toes. Drop down, squeeze the block with the left toes. Drop down, drop the knees. Good. Get rid of your block. All right. Now, this last little piece here before we come to stand is we're going to focus on shifting the hips back. So I'm going to show you guys one, and then we'll do it together. I want you to think about what you're going to be watching for. So I'm going to come back to that same position, and I'm going to come back to that same hovering knees. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to proceed to push my hips back, and then let my ears come in between the space between my arms. So my knees are bent. My tailbone is pushing up and back towards the ceiling, and I've got a nice long upper back. Now, as I shift forward, shoulders over wrists, I'm going to let those knees come back to hover. I'm going to push up and back again, and then forward and hover, okay? Now, the entire time that I'm doing this, as I lower, I'm focusing on keeping those thighs parallel. So as you lower back down from, almost like if you're a yogi, you'll know this kind of almost looks like downward facing dog. As I lower, I don't want my knees to buckle or flare out. I want to keep that strong parallel position as I shift forward. So let's try 5 of these. Now, don't worry if you don't have as long of an upper back as I do. That's okay. I just want you to focus on pushing that tailbone up and back and trying to get your chest in between the space between your arms as best as you can. Okay, so let's go ahead and try 5 of these. And let's see how it goes. Nice and slow. So I'm starting and ending in the same position. So push the shoulder blades to the ceiling, hover the knees. This is where I start. Now, as I push my hips up and back, and I shift back, as I shift forward, lower the knees so they hover, I end where I started. Again, shift up and back, shift forward, hover. Again, shift up and back, shift forward, hover. 2 more. Shift up and back, shift forward, hover. 1 more. Shift up and back, shift forward, hover, and then let those knees come to the floor. Great job. Shake out those hands if you need. We're going to do 1 more set, and then we're going to go ahead and proceed to come to standing. So again, really pay attention to how you're lowering to the floor so those knees stay nice and parallel, those thigh bones stay nice and parallel. Let's try 5 more, and then we are going to stand. All right, so hands set up. There we go. Turn those inner biceps forward. Push the shoulder blades to the ceiling. Curl the toes. Hover the knees. Push up and back. Chest in between, the space between the arms. Lower and hover. Push up and back. Lower and hover. Push up and back. Lower and hover. 2 more. Push up and back. Lower and hover. 1 more. Push up and back. Lower nice and strong. Hover and drop the knees. Beautiful. All right, everybody. Grab a block. Go ahead and come to stand. Now, again, for this little section, I'm going to be completely cut off from the waist up. It doesn't matter as long as you can hear me and as long as you can see what my mid-thigh to feet are doing, we should be okay. So let's go ahead and pop up to stand. Now I'm going to demonstrate this sideways, and I'm going to show you forward as well. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a block. Let's start with the right foot on the block. So I'm going to go ahead and be standing. Now, unlike me, I've got little toddler feet, so my foot fits the entire block. But if you find that your toes are hanging off the edge, you'll grab your second block and you'll just bring them together so that your whole foot can be on the block. All right? Now, this is very helpful for those of you who have pain when walking up or down stairs in the knee. This is going to help build that tissue tolerance to be able to handle walking up and down stairs. So, how this is going to go is going to be called a single leg step down. Now, we're always told that we should never let our knees go over our toes. Completely false, hugest myth in the fitness world. If your knees didn't go over your toes, you wouldn't be able to walk up and down stairs. So we're going to build that mechanism now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my left heel and I'm going to tap it to the floor forward in front of me. Now, as you can see, my knee went over my ankle. This is basically what happens when I step down a stair, okay? So this is super, super important to learn how to do and for your knee to be able to tolerate this action. So I'm going to tap, and then I'm going to pull it back up. And I'm going to tap and pull it back up. Now, let me show you from the front what to look for. One thing I don't want to happen is when you tap, can you see how my knee buckled in? I lost all stability in my hip, and now my ankle is also collapsing on the inside of the ankle. So as I tap, I want my knee to stay straight ahead as I prop back up. Okay, I don't want that knee to buckle. Okay, we're gonna try 5 of these each side. Now, if balance is a problem for you, feel free to go and grab one of your walls with the opposite hand, so the left hand. Feel free to do that. All right. What I like to do is I actually like to look at the floor. That helps me with balance. Let's try 5 of these. So I'm going to tap forward, push up for 1. Tap forward, push up for 2. Tap forward, push up for 3. Tap forward, push up for 4. Tap forward, push up for 5. Awesome. Not as easy as it may appear. A lot on the ankle, a lot on the leg muscles. Let's go ahead and try the other side. Now, again, if you've got any type of weakness in the leg, it will show up here. So don't worry. This is part of getting our body stronger, is understanding that we have to face things that are not as easy. Let's try the left side. So I'm going to tap and up. Tap and up. Tap, let that knee track forward and up. 2 more. Tap and up. Last one. Tap and up. Beautiful. Let's try another side. Now, again, if you're noticing when you do this, your knee is collapsing or you're kind of dumping through the hip, don't worry. You're only going to get better with time, especially if this is your first time doing this exercise. It takes a little bit of practice. I'm still kind of getting how to do this well and keeping that stability in my hips. Let's try 5 on the right side. So right foot on the block. I'm going to tap and up, tap and up, tap and up. Woo, 2 more. Tap, don't worry if you lose balance, and up. Ooh, 1 more. Tap and up. Yeah, that's the side I've had injuries on. So that's why that right side is a little bit harder for me. That's okay. Let's try the left side. Same thing. Here we go. I'm going to tap. Ooh, and up. Tap. Take your time. And up. Don't rush it. Tap. Let that knee come forward. Let it bend. And up. You're training that knee to bend. 2 more. Tap. And up. Last one. Tap. And up. Beautiful. Okay. I'm just going to see my face for a sec. All right. Really good job. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to do something called a glute clock. A lot of people hate this so much, but this builds a lot of strength in that outer hip. And that outer butt cheek, that second largest butt cheek, if this one is not strong, we're going to lose a lot of stability in the knee. So again, I'm going to demonstrate this once for you, and then we're just going to go to town and do it together. The whole objective of this is to burn the crap out of your thigh, the crap out of your butt. So if you're feeling those muscles, you're probably in the right place. So we're gonna stand again. Now, let's start with the right foot on the block. Now, basically what I'm gonna be doing, my friend Helen says, oh no, the quad. Yeah, she remembers this from when I would teach this in yoga class. This is such a good one. Now, basically what I'm doing with my left leg is I'm going to be creating almost like the action of a clock, but it's really important how we stand on this right block. What we actually want to do is we want to sit back like a squat. Okay, so when we were doing those step downs, we were allowing the knee to come forward and the hip to kind of be in line with the ankle. Now we want to sit back in a squat. So now my bum is actually behind my knee and my knee is now on top of my ankle. Okay, so that's the position that your right leg is going to be in. So I'm going to sit back and I'm going to squat and I'm going to bring my hands to my waist. So my knee's on top of my ankle, my butt's behind me. Now, what my left foot is going to do without changing the right leg, my left foot's going to tap in front of me. Then it's going to go back to center. It's going to go to the side. It's going to go center. It's going to go on an angle. It's going to go center. And it's going to go behind me. And it's going to go center. And I'm just going to keep going like a clock. Now notice how my right leg is not changing. So I'm not squatting. I'm not going like this with my leg. This leg is staying completely stable and strong. So from a side view, when I go into my clock, I'm just taking that left leg and I'm moving around like a clock. Now, to make it really, really easy for you guys, I'm going to tell you what to do with that left leg. I'm going to go front, center, side, center, angle, center, behind, center. One of those clocks is one round. We're going to try to do 10. Let's give it a try. And if your butt is not burning, I don't know, you must have like a powerful, powerful butt. All right, so here we go. So I'm going to sit back in my right hip. My outer butt cheek of my right hip is fired up. My knee is on top of my ankle. My hands are to my waist. I'm just on the tippy toes of my left side. So here we go. Front, center, side, center, angle, center, behind, center. Front, center, side, center, angle, center, behind, center. Front, center, side, center, angle, center, behind, 3. Front, center, side, center, angle, center, behind for 4. Front, center, side, center, angle, center, behind for 5. Front, center, side, center, angle, center, behind for 6. Batten that thumb. Front, center, side, center, angle, center, behind. 7. Front, center, side, center, angle, center, behind. 8. Front, center, side, center, angle, center, back for 9. Front, center, side, center, angle, center, back for 10. Whew. Stand up. Ooh, hoo, 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 hoo. Now, everybody might have felt that in different places. Don't worry if you were all quad and no butt. Don't worry if you're all butt and no quad. If you felt a lot of pressure in your knee, there might not have been a much of engagement of the lower body muscles. So I want you to try to sit back a little further in that bum. Even think about dropping your bum down. Okay, let's try the left side. We're only doing 1 set, so don't worry. 1 is enough. Well, I used to make my yoga people do more than 1, but for time purposes, we're only going to do 1. So on that left hip, I'm going to sit back in that squat. This time, I don't want my knee to track forward because we're going to try to use the butt muscles a little bit more. If it tracks forward a little bit, it might just be more that you have long thighs. Don't worry about that. So right toes next to us. Here we go. Front, center, side, center, angle, center, behind, center. Front, center, side, center, angle, center, back for 2. Front, center, side, center, angle, center, back for 3. Front, center, side, center, angle, center, back for 4. Front, center, side, center, angle, center, back, 5. Front, center, side, center, angle, center, back for 6. Keep going. Front, center, side, center, angle, center, back. 6, I think. Front, center, side, center, angle, center, back. 7. Good. Front, center, side, center, angle, center, back for 8. Front, center, side, center, angle, center, back for 9. One more. Front, center, side, center, angle, center, back for 10. Whew. Stand on up, give your legs a little shake. Whew. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Give those legs a nice and good shake. Amazing exercise for knee stability. So if you are someone that's currently starting with knee pain or currently in rehabilitation for knee injury, any type of syndrome of the knee, you definitely want to try that exercise. Okay, but one more thing standing. This one is again tougher than it looks, but fantastic for hip and knee stability. So let me just demonstrate once, and then we'll do 5 each side together. So how I'm going to start is I'm going to start standing on that block again, actually. Okay. But now what I'm going to do is as I stand on that block, I'm going to hover my left foot a little bit. And again, I don't want to sink into that right outer hip. I want to hug that right outer hip in. Let me just change my angle just a little bit. Yeah. So as I hover that foot, I want to firm that outer hip in, okay? Now, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be coming to a squat. So as I hover that foot, I'm going to proceed to sit back in my hips. I'm going to drop that left foot to the floor. I'm going to squat my hips back. So now I'm in a neutral hip squat. Then as I firm the left outer hip in, using the right hip crease muscles, I'm going to lift the right foot up off the block, and I'm going to hold it for a count of 5. Now, as I put the foot down on the block, I'm still in the squat. I'm going to firm that right outer hip in as I proceed to stand to lift the foot. So let me show you again. Sit back, squat, drop the left foot. Sit back into squat, firm the left outer hip in, lift the right foot for a count of 5, glue this big toe to the floor, drop that foot down from that outer hip, stand and lift. So as you can see, we're getting hip, ankle, and knee stability. Now, when you're coming to this squat, you don't want to lean too much to that leg to lift this one off. We want to sit back and proceed to try to lift that foot off as we keep that big toe down. Drop that foot, and as we firm into that outer hip, we go ahead and lift. Okay, we're going to try 5 of these together, each side. So here we go. We're going to go nice and slow. So right foot on the block, you can do your hands wherever you want them. I kind of like them to move with me, but feel free to keep them to your waist if that feels better. So here I am standing on my block, my left foot hovering. Now I'm going to proceed to sit back like I'm squatting or sitting in a chair, keeping this knee straight ahead. I'm going to drop that left foot. I'm going to squat my butt back. Now, as I firm that left outer hip in, I'm going to lift that right foot up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop the foot all the while, the left knee straight ahead. Then I'm going to press into that right foot, come back to stand with the left foot hovering. Again, squat back, drop the foot, sit back in the bum, firm the left outer hip in, lift that right foot up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop down, push into that right foot, come to stand, hover. You guys got it. Good. Sit back, squat, drop the left foot gently. Sit back, firm that outer hip in, lift the right leg for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop down to push off that right foot to come to stand, hover that left. 2 more. Sit back, squat, drop the foot, sit back, firm the outer hip in, right leg lift for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop down, push into that foot, come to stand, hover the left. 1 more, squat back, drop the foot, sit back squat, left leg strong as I lift that right leg up. For 5, keep that left knee tracking straight ahead as you sit back in the bum. 3, 2, 1. Drop the right foot to the block, push off the right foot, come to stand and hover. Awesome job. Now don't worry if that didn't go super, super well today. Do not worry about that. Now you can see that both legs are working evenly to create stability. Let's try everything on the left side and then quick cool down and then we're all done. All right, so here we go. I'm gonna stand on that block, left foot on the block, right foot hovering. Here we go. I'm going to proceed to squat back, drop that right foot, sit back into that squat. Firm that right outer hip in, lift the left foot for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop the left foot, push off that left foot, come to stand, hover that foot up. Again, start to proceed to sit back in that chair, drop that foot, squat back, firm that right outer hip in as you lift the left leg for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop that left foot, push off of it to push to stand and hover. Last 3, sit back, drop the right foot, squat in that neutral hip squat. Keep the belly tight as you lift that foot off the block for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop the foot, push off that foot, come up to stand and hover. 2 more, squat back, drop the foot, sit back in the bum. Hug that right outer hip in, lift the left leg for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Push off that foot on the block, come to stand, hover the right. 1 more, everybody, then quick cool down. Sit back, drop the foot, sit back, hug the outer hip in, lift that foot up off the ground for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop the foot to the block, push, and come to stand and hover. Nice job, everybody. All right, go ahead and prop off of that. Not an easy exercise to do. Definitely encourage you to practice that one for hip, knee, ankle stability, butt strength, leg strength, everything. All right, quick, easy peasy little cool down, and then you guys are done for the day. So we're just gonna work to stretch out the quad a little bit, stretch out those calf muscles, alleviate some pressure on the foot. So you're gonna go ahead and come back into hands and knees. This one's really, really easy. I'm gonna do these calf kind of rocking exercises. So coming to my hands and knees position, knees under hips. I'm just gonna extend my right leg back, go a little forward here. Extend the right leg back behind me, being up on the toes. And then all I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna kind of push the heel back. So I'm gonna get a little bit of quad stretch. I'll sort of start here. And all I'm gonna do is just kind of push that heel back. I'm gonna keep pushing the shoulder blades to the ceiling and holding the belly up. And I'm just gonna push back. Good. I'm gonna step that leg forward. I'm gonna go ahead and try the other side. I'm gonna extend my left leg back, being up on the toes. And then I'm just gonna like kind of push back a little bit. Get into that quad, or that calf, I should say. Come back, let's do 1 more each side. Right leg extended back. Push that heel back, find that nice big stretch. Pop it forward, left leg, push it straight back. Good, okay. And then pop that forward. All right, now from here, last little piece, I want you to see if you can uncurl your toes, keeping your shin bones parallel. And I want you to just start to see if you can rock back and forth. And I want you to go as far as what feels comfortable. Now, depending on if you are currently struggling with a knee injury, depending on what part of the knee is injured, bending the knee might be the most difficult for you. So you might have to kind of walk a little forward with your hands and just shift back a little bit. And you're just kind of going back and forth. So don't hold one position. I just want you to go back and forth. And the reason why we have the toes uncurled is we're kind of releasing the shins a little bit. Okay? And if you're someone who feels like you can be closer, maybe you can go all the way back and then all the way forward. But it depends. You might have a knee injury that straightening the leg is actually what causes you the most pain, and bending the knee is comfortable. So this might be a good range of motion for you. Let's do 2 more here and then we're pretty much done. Yeah, good. All right, everybody, here we go. So there is our knee, building stable, strong, resilient knee clasp, or knee. That's what happens when you're like sweating. Building stable, strong, and resilient knees. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you have any questions, as always, feel free to contact me by email, jen@freeruninc.com. Otherwise, thanks for tuning in, and I will see you guys next time. Have a fantastic Wednesday.